Good morning. Happy hump day, everybody, and welcome to our PCA Live discussing the Product Hub and the special Aganorsa Leaf special size of the Lunatic. Very excited about this and very excited to welcome our guest today, which is Terence Reilly, who's the VP of Sales for Aganorsa Leaf. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Terence on, and we are going to talk all about the special Lunatic El Gordo. Terence, like I said earlier, very nice to finally meet you, quote unquote, face to face. And welcome to our PCA Live and further Product Hub discussion. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, just wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Oh no, this is great. You know, when we've had a lot of discussions over the past few days from those that are on the product committee, from our board members who have kind of spearheaded this initiative. And we were talking a little bit earlier about how you kind of have a long relationship with Jessica Hudson, who's on the product committee. And she kind of reached out to you as we started this project and sent the information over. And I'm actually really looking forward to the discussion about this, because this is just so we can give everybody an idea. It's a unique size of your Lunatic line that it's going to be widely released a little bit later on. But as part of the Product Hub release, PCA members will get access to order this in April before it actually goes to wide release. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, we felt it was a great opportunity when Jessica called me to do something for you guys. You guys do a lot of hard work in fighting both on the federal and state levels. And just yesterday, we hear our friend Dick Durbin has snuck in some cigar tax into some bill about maternity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're pleased to be a part of this, and really excited. Again, it's a new size of our most popular line, the Lunatic, and a unique size. It's not like a Robusto or something. It's actually got one right here. It's a 5.5 by 80, which again is not for everybody, but there's a segment of the market that just loves those big, bold cigars. And to be honest with you, when I joined the company, we have some different ones of this kind of size, and I was like, why do we make something like this? And then I looked at the sales, and well, that's why. So
that's why
we're happy to release this to you guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a short fatty is kind of what it comes down to, right? Talk about it. Looks like it's just packed with a good punch of flavor. Can you kind of talk about that profile and what to expect with this?
Yeah, it's just a rich, bold flavor, not aggressive, so it's not harsh, but it just I think with big ring gauge, sometimes they get a bad or a bad reputation, because back in the early days, I think manufacturers kind of felt anyone that's smoking this is nuts, and so they didn't really blend to the size. But we blend to the size, and so we want to make sure that you get as much flavor and aroma and a great experience as you would on a traditional size cigar. So for us, we've been really successful, I think, for that reason. And it also has a tapered head, as you can see, so that kind of helps a little bit on the ring gauge.
Yeah, no, it looks like a great smoke. I mean, to me, I'm like, okay, that looks like a great way to kick off the front nine for me, to be honest with you. Something like that will help me get through the front nine to the back nine. Because when you basically, for me, I'm like, okay, I can forget about my front nine now. I've actually had a good smoke. I'm into it now. I'm like an 86 handicap, so I mean that works out for me. So this is great. So like you talked about, again, the Product Hub is a place where PCA retailers can go. You simply put in your commitment to purchase a number of boxes. There's no money exchange with PCA. I want to reiterate that to clear up any confusion. And then Aganorsa Leaf will get the report from your order, and they will reach out and connect with you and finalize that sale. And Aganorsa Leaf has generously going to donate a $19 per box to the PCA. Per sale of each box to the PCA's advocacy efforts, as Terence just discussed there. We've got assaults coming from the federal side with, again, our good quote unquote friend Dick Durbin, but also in the state advocacy front, as we are 25 to 30 states now kind of going after multiple aspects of different tax increases and smoking bans, et cetera. And so this is great. It's a fantastic, generous offering from Aganorsa Leaf. And so with the rest of the Lunatic line, does this follow the same flavor profile? It's just a larger cigar that this line. It's called the El Gordo, right? Gigante or
El Grande.
Right?
El Grande.
El Grande. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's part of our Lunatic Maduro line, which again is our best-selling line. For a lot, the price point, the sizes, and the flavor, I think is a huge is a good trio, trifecta, and that really has made it a really successful brand for us.
Yeah, because if I recall correctly, right, this it generally, depending obviously on the states, but retails for $10 or under, correct? Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, and this
Yeah, so
this
that's a
is under
great
$10
cigar.
as well. Again, it's a 5.5 by 80, so you're getting a lot of smoke for under $10. And again, especially now, with lockdowns and everything like that, I think a lot of people enjoy a cigar maybe a couple times a week more than they used to, and they want to not break the bank or get in trouble with their significant other. So this gives you an opportunity to have a great cigar and not have those type of unpleasant conversations.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's awesome. Yeah, so this is another part that we love about this is that this is something if it's part of your best-selling line. So retailers, look, this is something that if you haven't carried Aganorsa or you want to, and others that do carry this, these are stuff that does sell, that has great brand recognition, that consumers know very well and obviously love very well, as they do sell quite a bit. So when we started to talk, I confess I don't know too much about your background with Aganorsa. So I just kind of wanted to ask, when did you start with Aganorsa, and how long have you been with them and also in the industry?
So I've been in the industry, I think, about 12 years now or so. I started off, my uncle is a gentleman named Manuel Quesada from Quesada Cigars, and for many years I worked with him, and almost about a decade. And then about 4 years ago, I came to Aganorsa, and I've been here since 2017. So it'll be 4 years in December, and it's been great. I joined the company. We're one of the largest producers, growers of tobacco in Nicaragua. So we sell tobacco to all sorts of great companies out there, and then we also make some great brands out there, but our proprietary brands were not as well known. And so we wanted to make sure that, or my role was to make sure that our own brands got recognition. The best cigar you've never heard of is one you don't smoke. So I was brought in to kind of help us spread the gospel of our brand.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, you guys have been doing great. You guys have been growing like crazy, making obviously some extremely great products that I know a lot of people. I don't think I've ever talked to anybody that's had a bad experience with Aganorsa products, and so I think that aspect. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think that aspect of the brand is actually well established, particularly amongst like the cigar smoker, right? And so I think that aspect is probably why you guys are seeing somewhat of a I call it a meteoric. I don't want to be hyperbolic there, but this rise in the growth of your brand, of your proprietary, cigars there. And I think that speaks very well to the quality of products that you all are putting out there. And just like you said, I mean, Aganorsa is known in the industry because you guys do have such a huge factory. Josh, who is the head of our government affairs here, was actually able to visit your factory about 2 months ago, I guess it was. And he hasn't not stopped talking about it, since. Talks about, how wonderful the factory was, how big, and the quality and everything else that was there. So it's so for the Lunatic line, how many cigars are in the Lunatic line? Like what are all the various sizes that are in the Lunatic line?
So we have the Habano and the Maduro in the core line, which comes in a short Robusto, short Titan, which is 4 3/4 by 60, El Chiquito, which is 4 3/4 by 70, and then the 880, and now we've added the 5.5 by 80, which kind of falls perfectly in between a couple of those sizes. And we also carry an 8 by 60 in the Maduro line, so it's called the Jackhammer. So that's kind of the classic Lunatic line between those two blends.
So this is great. So I mean, this is a great product that if you already carry the Lunatic line, this is going to slide right in and fit right in on the shelves and fit in perfectly there for anybody who's already got the Lunatic line and selling it. I see Jay stopped in. A couple of people have said, "Hey, TJ." So I'm assuming that your middle name starts with a J. Yeah,
Joseph. So if you met me, generally speaking, if you met me before I was about 22, you know me as TJ, and then if you've met me after that, it's Terence. But some people have met me through, for instance, my uncle Manuel, who refers to me as TJ, and some other people. So there's still a few out there that call me TJ. It doesn't make any difference. TJ, Terence, I've been called worse, so either one is fine with me.
Yeah. I was just we were commiserating a little bit earlier. I said you get it probably double so in terms of having to always spell your first name and your last name. I always have to spell my last name for folks, but I mean you got the TERRENCE, or if it's 1 R versus 2 R's, but then plus you have the spelling of the last name. So yeah, TJ seems a lot easier than having to spell Terence, I think, for people. So I would have gone with that too. I'm assuming. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'd say it's not phonetically spelled, at least certainly my last name. So it makes it, it's understandable when people make the mistake. I'm just, I'm just happy they're saying my name, not I'll take the extra R or A or whatever they throw in there. No worries.
Yeah, that's good. So I imagine you, did you kind of grow up maybe visiting the Quesada factory, and going to see your uncle down there?
So I didn't go until I was a little bit older. I spent the summer down there once, basically to just, again, I had family in the Dominican Republic. I grew up in Massachusetts, in Terence Reilly, about a gringo name as you can get. But
Yeah.
my father's, his mother is Cuban/Spanish, and so she and my uncle's father were brother and sister, and so I had that connection to the cigar industry, and I just wanted to go spend the summer in the factory. To be honest with you, go to the beach and go, hey, what the heck? I'll work in a cigar factory. It'd be a good experience. I didn't even smoke cigars at the time, and but then you just see all the hard work that goes into cigars, and then I'd go over to my uncle's house on Sundays, and we'd have some beverages and some lunch and play cards, and you're just like, man, between the craftsmanship that goes into cigars and the camaraderie that it generates. I was like, this is really something incredible. So I was fortunate enough to be able to get involved and work there for many years, and here I am now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I talked about this, that my first cigar that I kind of kept going back to when I first started smoking those many years ago was the Fonseca 550, and that was my cigar that I would smoke when I'd go out and I'd walk our bulldog Gus. So I'd go down the neighborhood, and the 550 was perfectly timed to have a nice walk, and smoke that. And so that was one of those. And so I was glad to see that brand continue when my father purchased the brand there. And so I've got fond memories of that cigar. And that was kind of, like I said, the first one that I went back and purchased multiples of and had kind of on a steady diet, so to speak. Because that was what I did every night when walking the dog. No, go ahead.
I was going to say the first cigar I ever had was a Fonseca Vintage Petite Delicosa. It was, so I always have a fond memory for Fonseca. And my father's done a great job with the rebrand. It's incredible cigar and just beautiful packaging.
Yeah, I'm excited to get my hands on some of those in very short order. So I just kind of wanted to take a few minutes here to talk about Aganorsa in 2021. I know that obviously 2020, everybody's been topsy-turvy. I think everybody kind of understands that a lot of factories and brands have been, kind of a lot of orders and all kinds of different things with potential back orders and things like that. But I kind of want to take the opportunity as we're kind of going through the launch of this product hub and we're looking forward in 2021. Let's start sowing some seeds of optimism, and what are we looking forward to here with Aganorsa? What's coming down the pike? You got anything kind of exciting that is kind of on the horizon for any kind of new releases or anything like that you guys are looking at, or expanded product lines, etc.?
Yeah, so we just released one of our Supreme Leaf and then the Rare Leaf line, which are two exclusive editions we do. The Supreme Leaf comes out twice a year, and then the Rare Leaf is a limited line, but it's limited to our Aganorsa Select partners who partake in our Aganorsa Select program. So it's going to be around all year round, which we're able to do because it's limited to the accounts that partake in the program. But we also have, for the summer coming up, we have our Anniversario a line. We release every summer a size of that in a particular blend, a particular size, which we're always excited about, which we'll be releasing at PCA, and then another size of the Supreme Leaf, the second one, which will also be out this summer as well.
Oh, that's outstanding. So you guys got a lot of stuff coming up here in just about 4 months or so, yeah?
Yeah, it's busy. It's a good time. It's and my time in the business, this is the busiest I've ever seen it. I wasn't around back in the mid '90s when with the boom times, as they say, but this is as busy as I've seen.
Yeah, Rocky kind of mentioned the same thing yesterday when we were talking, is that we were in a new trajectory. And actually, I'd like to get your perspective on this, kind of looking at it, since you do have a pretty long history now in the industry and looking at it. With the increase, do you see it as probably maybe a combination of both, of people smoking more, but also more new smokers discovering and enjoying premium cigars?
Yeah, I definitely feel both. I mean, as I was mentioning before, the guy that after work on Friday stopped at the cigar bar or cigar shop, had a cigar and relaxed and went home, and busy working at home every day, and would have a cigar on the back porch. And so, maybe that's a couple extra cigars a week, which, all adds up. And then you also have a lot of people know what to do. And they had a buddy that smoked cigars, and hey, let's have a cigar. And also the way of connecting. All the Zoom meetings and things. There's groups that meet, weekly on Zoom. Not everybody can get out of the house traditionally and go on a Tuesday night to a cigar shop or to to some sort of club where you can smoke, but they could jump on Zoom and do a Zoom meeting. So a lot of shops utilize that to keep in touch with consumers. And again, I think there's been a lot of benefits to the industry with some new ways to connect, and that's the biggest part of cigars is that connection you develop through cigars.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And that's actually, it's been some of my favorite things. When I think about cigars, there's kind of two aspects to think about it. I love the discovery of, smoking a new cigar. I also love the familiarity of going back to an old friend, that smoked over the years, like I just mentioned with the Fonseca 550. But the social aspect is some of the best times, my wedding or celebrating the birth of my children, or quite frankly, we used to have what we call Friday night poker nights. And that's when I really got into it with a group of friends. And I mean, it's that aspect of it, of always being able to have that cigar. And I was actually at a retailer shop, Josh Everett's place out in Meridian, Idaho, a couple months ago, and was there on a Wednesday. People were waiting to get into the shop at noon, right? It was like 11:45 and people were waiting to get in, and people were there throughout the whole day, right? And they're friends. That's where they know each other. But it was interesting because there were a couple people that stopped in that had never been in before, and they just sat there, and then they were now friends with the people they were sitting next to and stayed there for several hours talking to these other gentlemen that were there. And it was just a great day of all of these different people from all these different kind of cross sections of life that it was outstanding. And I think that's the essence of the cigar culture that I think people are so drawn to. And that's what I think most people like myself really love about it. And I think that you just kind of hit the nail on the head there with, I think the other part too, is because of that human connection. That's one of the things that with the lockdowns and everything else, has been a pretty big drawback for folks. And to your point with the Zooms and everything else, the cigar helps connect us in those ways too. And I think that's been an important part of drawing in new consumers as well.
No, absolutely. I think there's something nice about being able to sit down. And I mean, if you were at a bar and somebody was like, "Oh, what are you having? An old fashioned? Hey, let me get you one. You try it with this bourbon," and they bought it for you. You'd be like, "Go on there." But cigar smokers do it all the time. When you see somebody smoking cigars, "Hey, what do you got there?" And, "Oh, you like that? Well, here, try one of these." And I just don't know of any other industry that really has that level of connection through such a diverse group of people. You just take different backgrounds, every race, creed, and color, and everybody's in the same room getting along. And especially these days, I mean, it's hard to find an environment where that's true anymore.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. And that's one of the best parts about it is that you can have people that are so unbelievably different that when you just sit down and have a cigar, it's fine. Like it's easy enough to kind of go through, have good conversation, good connection. And, what are you smoking? It's such a great way. I mean, just this morning, I was dropping my kids off out down at my wife's shop to come in because my kids are on spring break. And a gentleman, there's a store next to him, but he was sitting out in front, just enjoying a morning drink and a cigar out front because it was nice weather. And me, hey guy, what you smoking? He tells me, hey, enjoy whatever. And he just kind of gives me the nod and the kind of the hat tip and whatever as I drive on to come into the office. And so, but then that's just the case. I mean, I've met more people, just, hey, yeah, seeing a cigar and stopping and talking to them. And then, yeah, we exchange emails and then suddenly you got a new friend. And that's just the best part about the connectivity of the cigar culture that I think has helped it grow so much, I think, over this pandemic. Yeah. Bruce made a comment here. If you're referring to me, Bruce, thank you very much. 2 days away from making a full rotation around the sun again. So thank you. I appreciate that. So again, I just want to reiterate, folks, starting April 1st, that the Aganorsa Leaf Lunatic El Grande is going to be available for the month of April. It's an early access for PCA retailers in order to get this, and $19 per box that is purchased will be donated back to PCA state advocacy. And so again, this is a great selling line from Aganorsa, a brand new size that's going to go ahead and look great on your shelves next to all the other Lunatics that you have. If you haven't, had the opportunity to sell some Aganorsa, now's the time. Dive in and pretty sure that these will fly off your shelves. These are great cigars. Terence, I want to thank you so much for your participation in this. This is awesome. Manufacturer support for retailers is so important for us to be able to continue these fights. Yeah, guys, log in on April 1st. Go right to the shop and place your orders and start selling these Lunatics. So I really appreciate it, Terence. Thank you so much for your time and for Aganorsa's participation in this program.
Thank you so much for having me be a part of it. I think it's a great opportunity for us to help you guys out for all the hard work you do, and all our retailers who are fighting, various, government interventions throughout the nation. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, and we'll look forward to many lunatics in retailers across the country starting April 1st. So thank you again, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
You as well, sir. Thanks so much.
Thank you.